Are you curious in the cost of living in Europe? Or what are the most affordable nations in Europe where one can live a comfortable life? Let's investigate! 5 stunning locations have been selected by us as ideal places for retirees, freelancers, digital nomads, and remote workers to call home. I can speak candidly about the advantages and disadvantages of each country because I have traveled to and lived in half of them. Not all of Europe remains unaffordable even today. Certain locations in Europe can still be just as affordable as several well-known Southeast Asian tourist spots. All you really need to know is where to go and how to budget. In today's video, we will talk about the 10 cheapest countries to live in Europe under 1,000 euros. So make sure to watch the video till the end. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon, so you won't miss any future videos we upload. Number 5. The Czech Republic. The Czech Republic is not as frugal with its finances as some of the other low-cost European nations on our list. However, stable employment offers high levels of comfort, safety, and quality healthcare. Foreign workers are in demand in the banking, IT, services, and tourism sectors. Should you choose to establish your headquarters outside of Prague, the nation has reasonably priced real estate and good real estate opportunities. Again though, very cheap cost of living when compared to Western European cities, not the European nations I just named. There are a lot of charming towns and cities in the Czech Republic, particularly in Bohemia and the Moravian region. However, given that both of those neighborhoods are seeing strong economic growth, home prices are not all that different from those in Prague's outskirts. For instance, the price difference with Lithuania is merely 8.5%, the price difference with Poland is 18%, and the price difference with Bulgaria is 48.3%. Portugal is comparable, but it is less expensive than Germany, Italy, and other European nations. The location is one of the benefits of living in the Czech Republic. Given that Czechia is located in the middle of Europe, traveling throughout the continent is not too difficult. Despite the fact that the nation has many breathtaking locations, you might not want to leave. Though slightly less expensive, the standard of living is equivalent to that of neighboring Germany. It's also a terrific spot for nightlife, outdoor activities, and beer enthusiasts. On the list of the cheapest countries, the Czech Republic has one of the largest monthly budgets per person. You could live comfortably on 800 euros a month, but that wouldn't cover anything special. Number 4. Portugal. Portugal is arguably the costliest nation in Europe when it comes to cost of living. However, Portugal's favorable and reasonably priced reputation is a result of several reasons, and even for a brief while, you might want to try living there. Portugal is first and foremost known for its distinctive Atlantic Ocean coastline, mouth-watering seafood, and relaxed vibe. Its climate is among the best in Europe, and typically warmer than that of the rest of the continent. Because of the ocean's ability to regulate temperatures, summertime temperatures are not as high as they would be in Central Europe. This is a slow country to live in. Good healthcare and pleasant locals are available. Furthermore, the nation is breathtakingly beautiful. It is made up of historical landmarks, beaches, vineyards, picturesque roads, and more. Lisbon and Porto are popular tourist destinations with high prices for housing, certain activities, and meals. This is the reason Lisbon and Porto in Portugal are no longer among the most affordable places to live in Europe. Portugal has been rapidly gaining notoriety as a fantastic and safe destination in recent years. Google will yield a ton of entries ranking it in the top 10 European nations for retirement or permanent residence. As a result, prices are growing swiftly, particularly in the more well-known cities and towns. You can find cheaper places to live in smaller towns and villages outside of Lisbon and Porto, though. If you head farther north from Lisbon to the Alentejo region or from Porto to the Douro Valley, you'll discover plenty of affordable long-term lodging options. Living in Portugal is undoubtedly not the most expensive thing to do in the EU. It has rapidly gained appeal in recent years as a wonderful and safe area to visit or retire. As a result, prices are rising, particularly in the more well-known towns and cities. When comparing Lisbon or Porto to other cities or towns, the budget varies significantly. You would require at least €1,000 a month for 2 people if you opt to stay in smaller, less well-known cities instead of these 2 major ones, but you should spend more. Number 3. Croatia. Croatia is the costliest of all the former Yugoslavian republics and Balkan nations. It is nevertheless one of the most reasonably priced in all of the EU's member states. This can be a terrific place to live in Europe on a budget if you want lengthy summers by the sea and are willing to put up with corruption, bureaucracy, and restricted work possibilities. But keep in mind that whereas €700–800 will buy you a simple but tasteful lifestyle in neighboring Montenegro, in Croatia this money will only cover rural living expenses, assuming you own your own home. Furthermore, living expenses vary greatly between places and are influenced by the primary activity of the local population as well as the standing of the city. For instance, coastal cities are somewhat more expensive, making the capital relatively inexpensive. As a result, Croatia is one of the few EU nations where living in the capital is least expensive. For many others who would love to base themselves in Zagreb, this can therefore be excellent news. For 2 people, you will typically require more than €1,000 per month in Croatia. It is possible to fulfill this budget though, if you're willing to live a very simple lifestyle in a more sedate area far from tourist attractions. Number 2. Hungary. Another affordable EU nation with a low cost of living is located just south of Slovakia. Here, real estate purchases are essentially unrestricted, and living expenses are lower than in other EU nations. Hungary's affordability is matched by its superb ecology, mild climate, and of course, its internationally recognized thermal springs, all of which contribute to the country's ideal living environment. Hungary is landlocked, yet it has abundant water resources, and Budapest is known as Europe's spa capital. This place is thought to have cheaper prices than the majority of EU nations. Although the average pay is low as well, it is sufficient to support a high-quality lifestyle. Living in this region of Europe will also be reasonably priced if your pay is comparable to that of the West. Hungary is typically split into its eastern and western regions. Tourists tend to think that the West is more popular and expensive than the East. Nonetheless, it is feasible to identify areas in the eastern portion that are suitable for habitation. Europe's least expensive cities include Debrecen, Hajdúszobozsó, Nyíregyháza, and Miskolc, for instance. Living nicely in Hungary is not tough if you have €1,000 a month. This sum will cover the cost of renting an apartment, utilities, good food, and some amusement for yourself. Simultaneously, being outside of Budapest also has opportunities for cost reductions. Number 1. Slovakia. Slovakia is one of the most affordable and highly quality countries in Europe to live in. It is outperforming Poland in terms of economy and development, and its GDP per capita is higher. Slovakia's economy is among the fastest growing in the EU, despite its modest size and landlocked location. Despite having been a socialist state in the past, the nation's market economy has been almost entirely privatized since gaining independence. Slovakia has become a desirable destination for foreigners due to its abundance of activities, stunning natural surroundings, and comparatively inexpensive cost of living and taxes. Interestingly, although having a better standard of living than Poland, many sections of Slovakia have lower living expenses, making it an excellent choice for individuals wishing to live in the EU, but on a lower income than the average EU citizen. Importantly, Slovakia is one of the safest countries in Europe to live in out of all the affordable nations. The High Tatras Mountains have so much to offer, including an abundance of fascinating locations and breathtaking scenery. Furthermore, since tourism is not a major part of the local economy, prices are fairly democratic. The town or city where you reside determines how much it costs to live in Slovakia. Certain parts are more costly than others. The expense of living in Bratislava is comparable to that of Berlin, for instance, and a couple would need to spend much more than €1,000 a month on comfortable living. Actually, Bratislava is getting more and more expensive every year. Many opt to use it as a base to save costs because of its proximity to Vienna. Go south or east if you're looking to live on a tight budget. This brings us to the end of this video. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing and sharing so we can keep bringing more content like this. Also, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.